Hi, this is Notes from Life. We all have experienced fear associated with exams. Plus, conventional exams often fail at measuring our knowledge properly. Helen Keller quite aptly described the experience of exams in her autobiography. The Story of My Life by Helen Keller was in our syllabus in class 10. As I was reading it back then, I found some intriguing excerpts. Helen Keller described the daunting experience of exams quite accurately. Now, for Helen Keller, who was handicapped by blindness and deafness, exams were much more brutal. But she was intellectually exceptional. If we cancel out her limitations, we find her experience with exams quite relatable. Well, as I want you to see it for yourself, here are the excerpts from the book. But the examinations are the chief bugbears of my college life. Although I have faced them many times and cast them down and made them bite the dust, yet they rise again and menace me with pale looks until, like Bob Acres, I feel my courage oozing out at my finger ends. The days before these ordeals take place are spent in cramming your mind with mystic formula and indigestible dates, unpalatable diets, until you wish that books and science and you were buried in the depths of the sea. At last, the dreaded hour arrives, and you are a favored being indeed if you feel prepared and are able at the right time to call to your standard thoughts that will aid you in that supreme effort. It happens too often that your trumpet call is unheeded. It is most perplexing and exasperating that just at the moment when you need your memory and a nice sense of discrimination, these faculties take to themselves wings and fly away. The facts you have garnered with such infinite trouble invariably fail you at a pinch. Give a brief account of Huss and his work. Huss? Who was he and what did he do? The name looks strangely familiar. You ransack your budget of historic facts much as you would hunt for a bit of silk in a rag bag. You are sure it is somewhere in your mind near the top. You saw it there the other day when you were looking up the beginnings of the Reformation. But where is it now? You fish out all manner of odds and ends of knowledge. Revolutions, schisms, massacres, systems of government. But Huss, where is he? You're amazed at all the things you know which are not on the examination paper. In desperation, you seize the budget and dump everything out, and there in a corner is your man, serenely brooding on his own private thought, unconscious of the catastrophe which he has brought upon you. Just then, the proctor informs you that the time is up. With a feeling of intense disgust, you kick the mass of rubbish into a corner and go home, your head full of revolutionary schemes to abolish the divine right of professors to ask questions without the consent of the questioned. I couldn't help but laugh when I first read it. Not because the situation was funny for Helen Keller, but because it felt so familiar. While preparing for exams, we might skip a topic, and sometimes that particular topic is asked in the question paper. It's actually quite absurd. And Helen Keller described this experience. Even though this happened over 100 years ago, the feelings are the same. The stress before an exam, the fear of something going wrong, and the worry about what others will think are things many students still experience today. We often imagine historical figures as larger than life heroes, but they also have these very ordinary moments. What makes this passage memorable is not simply the examination itself, it's the humanity of the experience. History remembers Helen Keller for her accomplishments, but this small episode from her student life reminds us that behind every extraordinary person is an ordinary human being who worried, struggled, and sometimes faced frustrating situations. And perhaps that's what makes her story so relatable even today.